Hi everyone, I'm Patrick. I'm in the real estate industry, specifically as a property specialist with the Ayala Premier, and I'm here to share with you guys the top 5 most common questions I get in this line of work. So first and foremost, of course, they ask me this almost exclusively is, how do you get my contact details? Alright, kidding aside, the first one, I get this a lot from people who are encountering Ayala Premier for the first time is, why us out of all the luxury developers out there? So I guess I'll state the reasons from most obvious to least obvious. The first one is unit finishing or finishes. Top-notch unit finishing namin. You can always visit our show flats or even an official visit of our turned over units already for certain projects, and you'll see that the finishing is top-notch. So the next one would be the lifestyle, the community, and the prestige that comes along with your purchase. So it's very hard to explain, but I guess in more modern terms, though, I would coin the word as the vibe. The vibe that comes along with your purchase, of course. Last but not the least, investors would be happy about this is, if it's not yet that noticeable, all our projects aren't placed randomly in the metro. They're inside mixed-use estates or central business districts. So meaning, as an end user, you get the convenience of having all the other establishments that are necessary in your life around you. And as an investor, it means that your unit would appreciate quite well. No? Alright, so that's the first question. Alright, so this is the most common question I get after the introductory part of our conversation is, why is it already so expensive? Well, it's expensive for all the reasons I just mentioned for question number 1. Plus, we're in the luxury market, so it is expensive, but it's only gonna get more expensive tomorrow. You never want to look back and say, I should have invested. And to be fair, you get what you pay for. Like, for example, for our condos, at the very least, our one-bedroom units are sized at around 69 square meters, and it comes with at least one parking slot. And of course, for our lots, you get huge cuts. Not to mention all the amenities that come along with it, right? So, secondly, the value appreciation of our projects, it's quite potent. What I mean by this is, I already mentioned this briefly a while ago, is we're not only developing the project itself, but also the estates around it. So the estate around it. So it's manipulated in a way, but in favor of you as the investor and end user, because aside from the natural appreciation, it's also appreciating when the malls and offices are open. So you expect some sort of spike. In fact, our already turned over condos in the past decade have appreciated by 100% or more by turnover time, or maybe a couple of years after that. So give it 5 to 7 years and your money will be at least doubled, at least based on facts, right? So that's for question number 2. All right, so this is a question that I'd say most people would ask me is it a good time to invest now? Frankly speaking, if you have the money, then yes, it's probably ironically the best time to invest now, especially with Ayala Premier, no bias involved, just facts, because other developers, their prices might have gone down a little bit. For Ayala Premier, it just keeps increasing, but the payment schemes are friendlier, giving the clients a chance to recover. And of course, for all the reasons I just mentioned for questions number 1 and 2, you would think that if you had the money today, then of course, with a friendlier payment scheme, you can flip your unit before the turnover, or at least you can land back your money for the future, right? And if you're buying, whether you're buying a condo or a lot. All right, so question number 4 is, should I invest in a condo or in a lot? Which one's better? Well, that depends entirely on you, but frankly speaking, they both have their pros and cons. And I feel like if you're gonna invest in a condo in a prime location that's just waiting to explode, then a condo would have a more lucrative return. But for lots, you get a little bit more permanence to it, and of course, you can land back for a long time. You can pass it to your children and alike. It really depends on what you need and how you want to manage your finances currently, because they both have different type of payment schemes. But I would say if you can flip it in the next 3 to 4 years, a condo would be more lucrative depending on the location. That's just my opinion on it. All right. Last but not the least, does orientation matter? Well, of course it matters if you prefer a certain type of view. So in all projects, respectfully, they have their different orientations with different views. But that's the only thing that supposedly, technically speaking, would make it matter. However, of course, for different cultures, we have different beliefs. So more often I get asked about the orientation when the client believes in feng shui or if they're Chinese. So to give you an idea, they usually like south and east because it's good luck, and they avoid north and west. But of course, it really depends on the client, right? But if all things are equal, then it should only matter if you prefer a certain view. Alright, so that's about it. Hopefully, I was able to give you a little bit of insight as someone who works in this industry, and of course, a little bit more relaxed side to it, or aspect to it, of the questions I get asked often by, well, you guys, or at least my clients. So hopefully, I was able to help. Have a good day ahead.